Okay, good afternoon all. Please don't feel asleep after heavy lunch. Keep awake because this is the main key element area that we came across that we're going to cover today until Friday. There are lots of familiar faces, so do I need to introduce myself to you? But for the sake of others who doesn't know me, my name is Kini, and I am an ex-forester. I retired in 2021, and I'm sure that most of you have met me, and I'm delightful to see you today again, meet you again in this training program. We are going to work together this week. That myself and my colleague, Mr. Peter, will take you on the topics LCoP on the revise and the PMCP. Okay? I'm sure that most of you are very familiar with those two documents. So I regard this training program as a refresher because I can see lots of old faces in this room. And I'm very proud that you still serve in the organization for the good of our country. My presentation will be on the harvesting this afternoon, but before I go on to it, let me first acknowledge the PNGFA-JICA for engaging me to be part of this training program in New Guinea Highlands. I was in the southern region, and I was in Mose, and this is the third one. JICA and PNGFA, thank you very much. PNGFA still remember me, and they recall me to help them run this program for them. I'm very proud anyway, because I'm my ex-forester. No. Okay, again, I'm also thankful to HR manager and the director of operations, Lyle Humbo. Thank you for your cooperation. I think you have seen the way the field services is the core front of the organization. True? Yes. You are the core front of the organization. You play the saw. If you do it properly, everything will be perfect. If we won't play it properly, nothing good will happen. So I appreciate Cosmos, thank you, and Lyle for organizing this workshop with JICA. This is the third one, and I appreciate the one that we ran in Southern Region. There were lots of good responses we received from them. Even the Mose, there was also a good responses we received from feedback we received from them. And I hope that this 1 week that will be with you will have the same. These people have contributed a lot, how best we can manage our forest on sustainable basis. So in our theme, forest is a renewable resource. How best we can renew it depends on our ability, our skills, our knowledge. If we hide our knowledge, if we hide our skills, we cannot be able to achieve sustainable forest management that we are talking about. Again, in this morning's presentation, before we went for break, I appreciate the presentation by Elizabeth. I also appreciate the presentation by the Chief Advisor, JICA. They did very well in the presentations. They're giving us challenge how best we can manage forest resources in a sustainable manner. So again, in these presentations that we're gonna cover during this week, this is just like refresher course, refresher information that we're giving it to you. Now, all of you are aware that the local code was introduced in 1996. And I know that some of you have gone for the training. So if you count back to 1996, how many years now? It has never been reviewed, and there were so many changes taking place. Okay? So now it's a good time for us to see the review. But this is not the end again. This policy, these regulations are to be reviewed every now and then. That's how we can improve. If we leave them just rot away, we will not improve in our management systems, mechanisms. So they are there to be reviewed every now and then as time goes by. Okay, please again. Okay, one more. All right. So again, that's where I am. The main purpose of reviewing the logging code of practice is to manage and control all forest operations so that the community continue to enjoy economic and social benefits from its forest while minimizing the risk of adverse environmental impacts. In the first logging code of practice 1996, there was, but only road was the main area that was given to it. Much of it was under construction of road. But then when we review it, we look at it that the forest production was not really taken into account, forest diversity was not taken into account, and carbon was not taken into account. So these were the vital areas that was forecast in revising the code. So this 1 week that we are going to be here, we are going to look at those areas, talk about those areas, and please share your ideas. Training is two-way communication. It will become very encouraging, very interesting, and at the end of the day, very beneficial if we share the ideas. This training is not one way. Not that I'm going to give you the information, you take it and go. No, I want you to feedback. Give me a feedback of your views. Whether it's friendly, whether it's practical, whether it's workable. In areas that we see that it is not practical, it's workable, it's friendly, tell me. And next, maybe workshop, you can start to review it based on those constructive ideas. Okay, so I'll repeat again. Please, it's a two-way communication. I don't want you to go fall asleep. While I'm talking, you are dozing off. That's not the way I like it. We are here to share. Two-way communication, share. When I'm talking, if you did not understand or you want more information, please interrupt. Okay? Interrupt. You say, Mr. Kini, I didn't understand that. Please, can you elaborate? Or can you explain? I will do it for you. Or you bring me your idea. No, Mr. Kini, that's not working in my area. Can we do it this way? That's the way I like it. Okay? So this workshop here is 1 week, not only here, but outside of here as well. It's a two-way communication must be established. Please take note. No kenara maram taso na ego. And I don't know whether you will do it, but I want your feedback at the same time. In areas where we revise it, I'm talking about it. If you are not happy, if it's not applicable in our area, please tell me. So we are again here to share information, please. Okay, so the aim of this training is to train PNGFA project supervisors and monitoring officers implementing and enforcing the revised PNG logging code in timber permit, timber authority, and timber license areas in natural forest logging operations, reducing adverse environmental impacts and achieving ecological balance in forest production, forest biodiversity, and forest carbon stock. Those are the main key elements, 3 key elements. Production. Forest is a renewable resource. We all know that very well. Sunlight, other, like oil and copper and oil, one day they're going to run out. The place is going to become desert. Forest, if properly managed, it's going to be continuous. operation is going to continue. Our future generations will be happy because what their fathers have left behind, they will benefit. Example like Bulolo. Bulolo only planting, now they are harvesting it. So 40 years ago they planted, but somebody is reaping it, somebody is getting the benefits. Imi must thinking along that line. What I'm doing is for the good of my children, good of my future people. If I don't do it properly, they will face the consequences. Only by not finding couple, only not finding walabi, only not finding mahani. The consequences are there if we don't properly manage it. True. So please bear in mind, forest is a renewable resource if properly managed. If we manage it properly, as Ellis talked this morning, degradation, deforestation, replanting, enrichment planting, or in the logging operations, if we leave the resource, then we know that the production is there. But if we don't do that, we don't practice the management mechanism, then it will be a sad day for our children. Okay, so that is the aim of this. Please enforcing the revised logging code of practice. In this regard, I'm telling you that logging code of practice came in within Nipla Inorausi. Don't think that no, Nipla log, no God, it still remains the same. Now they are working on the PMC procedures. Logging code has been revised, but it's going to be revised again, review again, based on the circumstances, based on the situations, based on the time frame, timeline, because things are changing, technology is changing, etc., etc. So changes are going to happen. Logging code in other countries, they revise it every 5 years or less than that. Now it's just taking us over 20 years to revise it. That's too long. Too long. Where is our goalpost now? In the current restructure, our goalpost is downstream processing. We shifted from log export to downstream. So where should we go? We are no longer, government is trying to ban log export. But it's not happening. But now we are emphasizing on the new goalpost. Our goal is to achieve downstream processing. Please, can I ask, how many of you have in operations downstream processing? Put up the infrastructure. Can anyone put up your hands? Yes, in my operation already, downstream process is already there. So now we are in the 50th year, or more than that, I don't know. But when I was in forestry, my understanding is we are now in the 50th year. Downstream processing, the policy changed. Our goalpost was export. They shifted from here now, our goalpost is on downstream. After downstream, where will be our goalpost? It depends on the circumstances, situations. That's how it's going to be. In other countries, my understanding, they already shifted. Many countries have banned log export. They are not exporting. They are on plantation and conservation of forest. So, in this regard, please take note. Forest production, biodiversity, and the carbon stock when we are managing our forests. To achieve those things, ask yourself a question. Did I achieve forest production through my management? Yes, you did. No, you cross, and then you improve. Did I achieve biodiversity, flora and fauna? Yes, we did. If not, you cross. And carbon stock. What about the carbon stock? This morning, Ellie did a very good presentation. Global response. It's a challenge to us. How best we want to achieve carbon in our country. Because there are countries, the forest is going down, decreasing. In ours, we are lucky because our environment is very conducive to forest. Even we cut it down, they're going to come in very quickly. You can go back and see it. It's like putting no logging was been taking place. Okay, please. So objective of this training is at the end of the training, the participant will be able to enforce PNG law in code of practice with planning, monitoring, control procedures to manage one, the carbon stock in forest degradation through commercial logging in natural forest harvesting. Time, Nibla hoping we open the forest cover. That's where sunlight comes in, desert come up. That's where Nibla carbon down. The carbon stock is on the cover of the canopy of the forest. So that's what it means. We don't have to open it up too much. Control. In only areas where tree is there, we can cut. In areas where there is no tree, we don't let machines go in, people going in, destroying the environment. Vegetation. That's where it's affecting the carbon stock. Okay? Natural restoration through silviculture techniques, practices. 1, replanting. 2, enrichment planting. 3, residuals. According to our Act, 50 centimeters above should be felled. So below that is regarded as what? Next crop, residuals. That should be kept. But when we go to our log homes and swampland, what do we see? Lot of undersize. 50 below. Even though our Act say that 15 above, rest right. But when we go there, we see below 50. So are we really managing our forest? Is that forest sustainable forest management? That's a question that comes to us. We have to answer it. And if our operation is felling lots of undersized trees, 50 below, that's not according to our Act. Because our rule or our law say that 50 centimeters and above. But in here we find lots of undersize. Forest production through retaining methods already. Forest biodiversity is one important area of biodiversity. Now, the biodiversity moves because Ibla Bakarapim habitat law. The food, the shelter, the nesting trees, we go in and cut them down. So these people finding less now because they have no where to survive, how they can survive. They move to next forest. So in this regard, please think about the trees that forest capacity used to use. Drinking water quality. Lots of villages complaining when we do. They see their drinking water is polluted with oil, with dirty water. They come to us and say, oh, environment problem. So that's part of the area that we're looking. We must make sure that we provide quality water, and we're going to cover it in the code. And the last one is cultural side, improving or improve conservation areas. Cultural side are any areas that used by the people is to be preserved. Excuse me. Sorry, and it seems to be losing my voice. Next, please. All right, now we get to the timber harvesting. Timber harvesting, it includes roading, skidding, or felling, roading, felling, after felling, skidding, and then loading to the processing site. Okay, to teach you forest management practice to minimize risk of adverse environmental impacts, protection and conservation of natural and cultural values whilst harvesting timber in setup operations. So in here, we got to be mindful about construction of road, mindful about the skid tracks, mindful about the felling, mindful about extracting the logs out to the log landings. So that's what harvesting, and then taking it down. So you picture yourself go back, focus, go back to your operation. Then you can figure out how harvesting takes place. If it is not according to the law or according to the code, please refrain from that. Step in and advise your operator. Please, that is not the way it is to be. Code applies. Code is a standard that they must meet or they must comply to. Okay, next please. Okay, so the first point is before the operation starts, the company forester must do a briefing. Briefing to all his employees. How to go about with the operation. So in the briefing, those are the main areas I have a bullet point to take notes. Please also follow your revised logging code. It is taken from the list. So if you can follow there, you refer to your manual. So manual highlight those bullet point there. You can pick it up from there, and please, as I said earlier, ask questions if you are not so sure. I said the only way that we will enjoy this session is two-way communication. If I talk all day, I'm sure that people are going to fall asleep. So two-way communication is, please, if I ask questions, you answer me, or if you want to ask questions, you ask me. Okay, bullet point 1, proposed road lines, log landings, and seed tracks. Now, in the first logging code of practice, follow road lines only. When they are constructing the road, make sure how it has been planned. Those are must be in the Selataso. They cannot go anywhere directly from the planned route. So if the operation is doing that, please go in and advise him. This is not according to our code. We follow road lines. Second is buffer zones and special management areas excluded from logging. So if they are going into those areas that are restricted or excluded, please advise them not to. In some areas, we found that the background is becoming please cut the away. Even though it's inside the buffer, or even if inside the special management area, cultural area, they still go in and cut them. If that practice continues, please tell them not to do it because it's against the code. Buffer zones for natural and cultural values. Water courses classification definitions. Can I just ask a simple question? Do we still remember the classifications? Water courses? The definitions? What is class 1? What is class 2? What is class 3? You still remember them? Please, if you lose antenna, lately, I remind you to go through them again. Those are important. And width of buffer zones, do you still remember them? I'm sure you still remember them. I'm just trying to test you out. I'm not abusing anyone. Please, in this, I'm not, no, please don't take it that way. He's just trying to remind you whether still you remember the width of that buffer zone, class 1, class 2, class 3, the definitions, the swamps, the villages. You remember? Those are the ones. Not very much changes has taken place. They're still same. But in these sessions, I'm just reminding you, please remember. So when during the monitoring, you just observe, make sure companies are not going beyond. If they're going beyond, step in and advise them, no, this is not according to the standard. It's called, you say, standard we are trying to apply in the logging operations. Because in our country, people are saying that commercial logging is one of the top forest degradation. Beside agriculture, beside mining, beside cultivation. So if they giving us a report, how shall we answer that question, query coming from the public? They say that forest people are the worst ones who are destroying my forests. But we got to tell them, no, we not approve this stuff. We got standard here that we are able to manage our forests on sustainable basis. Make sure that our water courses are not being affected, our environment is not being affected. Okay, and occupational health and safety, protect clothing, gears, and equipment. I was happy that these helmets are in front of you. I can remember during my time we issue helmets. During my time we issue uniforms. During my time, because we have lots of money, so we were able to afford the money to pay for those things. But people never look after them. After some time, they've been thrown away. There are lots of first examples in the operations I can remember, but I cannot tell you, probably you got lots more. You walk in and people don't recognize you as a forester coming or government officer coming. Why? Because of our dressing. We don't dress as representing an organization when we are entering an operation. In other organizations, they do the uniforms. So when they go in, we say, oh, he's a banker, he's a lawyer, or he's a that, LCoP. But PNGFA, it's unfortunate. I'm not saying that we can do it, but please be more of that caliber. Okay, if you are giving us boots, wear the boots. If you are giving a helmet, please wear helmets. And attire. Clothing is very important. We cannot just walk in with our barefoot, start giving instructions. This is not good enough. We lead by example. We should be the role model because we are an employee of the organization. And of course, last two is a machinery used in operations. We're going to go through the machines, the safety side of them, and restriction of weather conditions. So those are the areas which the company forester should brief, be briefing to the employees. And I guess that make sure we are there as well. While they are doing the briefing, we also witness that they are really physically doing the briefing to the employees. Because when they don't do it, we go in and we find lots of problems, then that will come back to us again. But make sure that company foresters are doing it. Please, next. Okay, that's already. Please, next again. Okay, so buffer zones. Those are the two areas. No harvesting on slopes exceeding 30 degrees on lower and moderate erodible soils, or slopes exceeding 29 degrees on higher erodible soils. Table 1, you can see it in your manual. Now the reason is when it is in a steep slope country, topography, and logging goes in, what happens? Anyone tell me what happens? Lots of erosion, lots of landslide, because machines go in, they make the soil become loose. Felling goes, the ground becomes loose. So very quickly the soil becomes loose. So there are type of soil that we can talk about here. One type of soil is sandy, loamy. It's very loose. Okay? The top one is, we can say, it's a clay. It's a bit solid. So when machine goes in, it doesn't break quickly. It takes some time before it breaks. The other one is, in some areas we can find it's very solid because it's all over rocky before 1 meter or before 500. So in rocky or stone areas, it's quite okay. But in very loose soil areas, you can see that when machines goes in, the soil becomes very loose. So the consequences, what happens when the rain comes? It's washed down to the streams. What happened to the streams? They are polluted. So then you can see the environment is affected. The wildlife is affected because they don't have a clean water to drink. Human beings living down the stream, they're affected because they don't have a clean water as well. So that's the reason why we put buffers that no logging will take place in there. No machines will go in there. Okay, again, two is no felling or machinery permitted within stream buffer zones, table 3 and 5 and 6, as you can see, except at approved stream crossings marked on setup plan. So any operation, felling goes in, any machine goes in there, make sure they follow the plan. The plan is very important. If they don't follow the plan, please advise them that this is not according to the code. The machines go in as well. In some areas, we notice that machines go in where there is no trees. That shouldn't happen. They just drive through, shortcut to the other side. No, it shouldn't be allowed. That's environment. We talk about the forest as the whole environment. And if that is affected, the forest is affected. Okay, please, next slide. Okay, so I recommend setup management on different soil slope combinations. Low, medium, high, clay and stony soils, silky, loamy soils, sandy and silky soils. Major slopes degree, up to 10 degrees, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, and over 30. But according to our code, over 30 should not be. It's not allowed. No logging should take place over 30 degrees. That's according to a first logging code of practice. And in the revised, it's re-emphasized. Over 30, logging must not take place. But unfortunately, I know you will experience this. In those times, in last 40 years ago, logging was in flat areas. The country was very flat. But now, where are they? We have reached the mountains, mountain ranges. So that's why I say that we have to contribute how best we can manage this area, rugged area. We can stop them, but if companies see lots of trees are in there, they're going to mark it into their setups. And they're still going to go in. But as a responsible officer, what are we going to do? Are we still going to allow them to go in? So this is a clash between the regulator and the implementer. You are the regulator. I want to say no. He's the implementer. What is going to do? The aim is production. The company's aim is production. Our aim is make sure sustainable forest management. We want to manage it in a way to achieve biodiversity, carbon, and the production. So these ideas are, as you can see, they are clashing now. There are two people, you and the company now, fighting over your rights. He's going to fight over his production. Yes, I'm going to go in because logs are there or trees are there. And you're going to say no because your code doesn't allow it. So are you going to compromise now? You're going to say, yes, go in. Or he's going to say, yes, I won't go in. So please, this is a sensitive areas which you're going to use your ability. I'm not going to come and tell you. Your supervisor is not going to come and tell you. Your director is not going to come and tell you. Your manager is not going to come and tell you. It's now your job, your responsibility to make a decision now. Which way are you going to go? Are you going to say yes to him or no to him? Or are you going to sit down and talk it over? Discuss it so that there is an understanding between you and you and other parties. Because another party is a landowner. Why? Because landowner what? Royalty is money. More trees, more money. Less trees, less money. So there's another party coming in now. No, you two are wrong. Cut him. Because me look was 3 months making some royalty, me no have money now. Okay, yeah. So you are in the middle of things. But as you are a professional forester, you will be respected on whatever decision you will be making out in the field. But if you don't play your role properly, then maybe they will not listen to you. So that's my small advice to you. Sit down and discuss it with them. Make sure these two parties understand Papa Ground and the company. Because you're the one, a regulator, you are enforcing the code. Companies enforcing the production. Papa Ground enforcing the what? Royalty. So you have different, your visions you can say. They don't go to the same, they go different. Unless there is an understanding between 3 of you, there will be less problems. The problems will be solved because the understanding is there. But if there is lack of understanding between you 3, then there will be lots of fighting among you 3. You know, when I not first joined, but when I was working in the forest PNGFA, I worked with one consultant, New Zealander, and he was working in Kumusi Logging Operations, one of the managers, operation manager. And he told me, Geno, you know what I used to do? When log buyers come and they want to select, he used to put a line and they say, we fight. If you win, if I win, he used to go to the extreme, this guy. I said, why are you win? Because I want to meet my production, so make money. But when these people come in, they don't take it, and I challenge them. I tell them, we fight. We fight. If you fight me, you pull down, then we win now. If I fight, if I kill you, or if I make you pull down, then me win now, you're gonna get all my logs. You see, some foresters are like that. You know, when emotion comes, we lose our tempers, you know. But please, be professional. Don't be like that. Okay, so these are the areas that I'm talking about. A again, B, nil. So sandy and silky soil, A, B, nil. Silky, loamy soil, A, B. And clay and stony soils, A, and nil. Okay, those things are, if you come down here, by looking more. Any questions? Or is that clear? A, retain any number of trees with range of DPH sizes to attain a minimum of 9 to 10 cubic meters per hectare. Basal area maximum setup size is 150. That was based on a sustainable forest management. How many trees that remain in the setup per the soil condition, per the slope condition. Okay, B, retain any number of trees with range DPH sizes to attain a minimum of 20 cubic meters per basal hectare or basal area maximum standard size 75 to 100. Excuse me. And NH is no harvesting at all. Is it clear to you people? You think you can go and implement it or enforce it? All right, now questions, so we'll go to the next slide. I think it's clear. Water course definitions. Water course definitions, or classes and definitions, 1 and 2. Class 1 stream, class 2 stream, class 3. Now in the first logging code of practice, only class 1 and 2. Now we bring in class 3. Class 3 is regarded as, say, drinking water. Okay. Mostly we can find it in upper stream of the upper streams. The class 1 and 2, they lower side of it, but class 3 in upper side of it. Okay, I think it's very clear. It's in there, you can see it. So their definitions, you can see them on the other side. Okay, next, please. With the buffers, I think this is also very straightforward because it's taken from the previous, the first logging code of practice. But the question here I want to ask you is, do we still apply it? Are we still applying it when we are going to our operations? And if you are doing it, I give you credit for that. And please, you learn walking, make sure you do it. It's very simple. It is minimum 100 meters, 500 meters, 100 meters, 50 meters, 20 meters, 50 meters, 100 meters, and 10 meters. That is the buffer. The operation don't go in. If operation goes in, stop it immediately. Now, the question, if they continue to do it, what are you going to do? Can anyone tell me? Suppose the company continue to breach these buffer zones. What action shall we take? Issue a warning. Okay, that's a good answer. What sort of warning? Okay, you are going into the buffer, so I'm giving you the warning. And if you do it again, what is the next action? If you continue to do it again, first is warning, you give it to him. Okay, next course of action, if he continues,
lawful direction.
Lawful direction. Give him a lawful direction. Because you the one who approved the vacant land. So you are responsible. Clear? So you make corrections. Don't wait for anybody from the above or from the side to come and do the correction. You are there to correct it because you approve the plan. So don't wait, no, me looking boss past time, the boss don't wind him, but no. Please don't do that. By the time you're waiting for his reply or his response or his advice, they already went 3-4 kilometers. So the whole area has been disrupted. So when you see it in the first place, you step in. And if they continue, second action. If they continue, the last resort is, if they continue, you charge them according to the act, according to the law, according to whatever it says. Now we will take it up to higher authorities. So please come back again to the minimum with their remarks there and their categories there. Yes?
I'm taking it that the constructing the land owner what they have used to maybe increase it.
Yes.
In instances where there's identity within that papa, this later on consultation will not work out. So we should stand by what we say, what we put. There's no need to consult that. It's good for the people who are conservative. They will say, okay, increase it for the safety and for conservation purposes. But for those who want royalty money, they will say, oh, it's good, I'm going to be identity.
Yes, that's happening. You are right.
We should not put consult that. We should stand by our...
Yes, good. Okay, so he's saying that in some areas where Pagaran Dimana, or they come in and say that he may increase him legally, or he may decrease him legally, they try to adjust. But our requirement is always there. Any consequences happen, we go by our requirement. You clear, we cannot go around it. Because if you are taken to court, and this is the requirement that we're going to use to justify our case. So you are right. If they come, we tell them that, no, this is according to our code, we stand by it. If you want to increase, it's up to you. If you want to decrease, that's up to you. But our standard is, this is the requirement, and we go by the requirement. Because some areas we have seen during our review that the program come, token operator cut him go down. So one example I'll tell you, we went to another province, I can't remember. We were in a forum discussing it. One program came and he said, but Papa, he said, then you're right. You are saying that I can't cut the wire at the side of the river. But if there is no fee fell into the river, there is no fish, he said. What does he mean? Can you see the logic? Logic in there. What this gentleman was talking about. If there is no tree in the river, a dead tree in the river, there is no fish. I can't catch any fish. People are bewildered. We were confused. So you want, those are still some excuses. They want they go in countries, throw them into the river so that fish can come and feed on them. And they get more fish in there. That was the logic behind it. But at the same time, he was saying that the debris of the fish go into the river so that it will attract more fish to come and feed on them. People are clever. Some people are wise. But they can say things in a way that they know that they can get benefits out of it. So we were confused and we tried to change this measurement width of these buffers. Some say put it low, some say increase it. So we say not just maintain it until we introduce it and we get a feedback from our people. Like now we are running the workshop. And you should give us your feedback, whether it's applicable, it's not applicable, or it's practical or it's not practical, or friendly or it's not friendly, like what this Lenona said. If I can tell a tree into the river, there is no fish in the river. The area that I will fish, there is no fish. Fish will go to the areas where there are trees. So very interesting. Okay, next slide please. Okay. Sorry, I'll get it from you first.
I have a question regarding the previous.
So public?
Yes.
Okay, please.
Okay. When we look at the, I have a suggestion like.
I percentage.
Suggestion.
Oh, okay.
There is some operation areas where I supervise. There are a lot of dry water process. Dry water process, and if I can remember correctly, in the previous logging practice, we have there is no minimum buffer width for dry water process. I encountered some of these areas in my operation areas. The dry water process with more than, some of them more than 5 meters, like for the class 1 streams and class 2 streams, they are width of the
5 meters.
yeah.
5 meters and above. And 2 meters and above.
Class 1 and class 2 category, but it's a dry water course. It runs only, it flows only during wet season.
Yes. Yes.
In the logging part of first logging course, we have a dry water process. We have no minimum buffer zone width for that. Can we have minimum buffer width for dry water process? Because when the operation is on during dry season, there's no
Water in there.
There's no flow.
Yeah.
When it comes to the wet season, it becomes a permanent flowing stream. So when you put under category of dry water process with no buffer zone, then companies will cross, they will flow in within very close to the river banks. And then when it comes rainy season,
The water is there.
the dry water process becomes a flowing stream again.
Yeah.
Can we have some minimum buffer zones for dry water process? Can we do that?
Okay, that's a good question. So your query is, during the dry season, there is no water.
Yes.
And the width of the class 1 and class 2, they have
Yeah.
2 meters and 5 meters
Yeah, that's right.
beyond.
Yes.
So you want a minimum of width, or you want a minimum of buffer?
Yeah.
Which one? You want a minimum of
Depending on the width of the riverbed. The dry water process, depending on the width of it. Like if you measure 2 meters, then we can put a buffer zone of 10 meters or 15 meters, depending on the width. Because during dry season, there's no flow, but and when it rains, it becomes a flowing stream.
All right, good question, but our code of standard, regardless of whether it's, but it's a 6 month. If 6 months it's a water flow, then that is a class 1 stream, that is a class 2 stream. 6 months. Another 6 months there is no water, but still it's classified as a class 1 stream or it's a class 2 stream. So they need to establish the buffer. Okay, that's a good question, but that's the answer to your question. Clear? So regardless of whether water is there or it's not there, but 6 months, it said, within 6 months the flow of water is there, that is class 1, that is class 2. If another 6 months there is no water, then there's still regarded as a class 1 or class 2 stream. And there must be a buffer, okay, 20 meters or 50 meters. If it is a class 1, then it will be 50 meters. If it's a class 2, it will be a 20 meters. Okay, now class 3 is coming in as well. So some areas where there is a longer period of wet season, rainy period. In some areas there is short. The rain season is short. So long dry spell. So your question is coming into that category now. So during the dry season there is no water because no rain. Okay? During rain season there is water because it's raining. So, but our classification and definition on this water courses, class 1, if it's 5 meters and above, that is 15 meters buffer. Okay, class 2, if it is 2 meters and above, then that is a buffer. So whether it's during dry season or during a rainy season, same applies. Same code applies. Because the idea was, if the company is planning operation during dry season, you can see all those setups and mark them here. And you can mark them as what your question says. Because no water, so they will not establish buffers. During the rainy season, because there is water, so they will establish buffers. You clear. So standardize that to avoid the problem or to prevent the problem. We say that classification is 2 meters and above, 5 meters and above, water in there or water is not there. Then we apply the buffer. Clear? Okay, what was the question, Simon? Yes, okay, Simon, please.
That's a good point. But as foresters, we need to also be mindful about production. You know, many areas in PNG you tend to have that type of situations in the forest. You have a lot of drainage depressions when wet season for maybe a month or two, you tend to have water flowing, and then suddenly the rainy season ends. Not long after that, it dries up. Now the decision is, we have to ask ourselves, do we have to put a buffer when most times, most of the year, there is no water? Okay. So the code is trying to address this by saying, okay, if in such situations, as long as that drainage depression or that creek or whatever it is, class 1, class 2, or even class 3, if water is flowing more than 6 months, okay, more than 6 months, that needs to be, buffer needs to be established. If it's just 2 months, 1 month, or just when only the rain comes, no need. Because you need to also be mindful that in that buffer, there could be some productive forest, areas. So we need to be also thinking about production. Okay, let's be practical in our decision.
All right, thank you, Simon. So let's head on to that. Yes, it's really touching your question now. So more than 6 months and less than 6 months. So as you forester, it's up to you to make a decision now. In areas where it's lots of the density is high or the volume is high, for sure companies want to take it into account in their product because they will be worrying about their production. But in areas where density is low or the composition of the forest is low, they will not be mindful about it, they will not worry about it. They will probably leave it out. Okay. One more piece, your question, and then we move on because time is
the lakes, lagoons, coastal shorelines and mangroves with the 100 meters minimum width. Is it applicable to Block 1 construction?
We're going to talk about Block 1 tomorrow, so maybe I'll leave it for tomorrow, but we also have that question in the other 2 workshops. They construct them on the side of the river or at the edge of the beach. So now we talk about it and we say, yes, it's going to be, that should be. So if they want to construct a lock pond, they should move it in 100 meters and then do it. So when they are loading, it says a corridor of road moving out to the jet, and then they start loading. Because currently we can see there's lots of forest debris falling down and whatnot happening. So your question, when we come to the lock pond, I myself and Simon will further elaborate. Thank you very much for bringing that question up. The other 2 regions, they also have similar question that a friend have raised. When we were inspecting the lock ponds, we came across this, and the answer was in the revised logging code of practice. It's not mentioned, but that's how it's going to be. The approval of lock ponds, they must establish them away from the solar 100 meters, not right to the edge of the river or right to the edge of the seashore, as your question. Okay, yeah. So please leave it when we go up to the lock pond, we make further discussions. And try and identify areas where that can substantiate that, so support our decision to come up with the buffer. Okay, please move again. Operational standard, our workers must receive technical training assigned to them, including relevant aspects of workplace safety with the code. Again, these manuals, so please read it. They're very straightforward, simple. All equipment, machinery should only be operated by trained and operated persons. What is the opinion in this area? Operators, change operators, machine operators. There were lots of argument came on in the past to workshops in this regard here. Change operators and machine operators. The company employ the right people who are operating these machines. Yes. Well, John, that's a good question. How do you know that these people are certified operators? That's one. Two is how do you can tell by how they are doing a job in the bush. Are they following the code? Do they understand the code? Or do they understand our sustainable forest management that we're talking about? That they also helping us in managing the forest together. I mean, this can be further discussed in our group discussions or in our visit to the operational site. But I'm just putting this forward to you. Another question, yes? Can you give him that so that whatever I said, there's another. So what he is asking is everybody can hear, so if anybody want to, sorry. Yes, go ahead.
We usually have this, when you mentioned about the application of appropriate felling directions and all this, we usually, I think in the past we usually have this harvesting training unit. They used to go around training operators, company operators and in the logging operation areas. Okay, I'm just suggesting, can we have this, I don't know, somehow this training is no longer available, so can we have this training on again? We used to have this, one team used to go around training change operators, harvesting training unit.
Yes, my answer to the question is, if it is in the code, then we have to impose it. Can impose it, because in here, its code is saying that only certified operators to operate in forest. The person who understands SFM that we're talking about, the person who understands, who can read the setup planning, the person who can read the logging code, these are the people that we're trying to engage so that they can help us. So your question is, yes, it should be. Okay. So in the code, it's saying will and should. So in areas we looking for some will, definitely it will happen. So in areas where it say that should statement, it's with a question mark in there. It can happen or it cannot happen. I should do it. You are only, saying that you can do it, but whether you do it or you don't do it, depending on your motivation, your action. I will do it. You are saying that yes, I will do it. So you know that you can do that. So that's what the code is saying. So in here, in the statement, if it's saying that these operators must be a certified operators, then why not the training that we're talking about, revitalize it? Look at it again. So these are the people who are coming in to help us to manage the forest together. Yes, go ahead.
How do we certify the operators? They have to go to a certain training, and then they will be qualified, and then we certify them to become certified operators so that they can apply the appropriate felling techniques.
Yeah, it's similar. I think
We need that training. Like I'm suggesting that can we have this training on so that we get most of our operators in the logging areas to be certified, so that they become certified operators. We will only monitor, and then they will be like, we can give them license or to license fellas, so that it will be easy for us to monitor them. So
Yes.
when they do anything wrong, we can just terminate them or cancel the license, so they don't become change of fellas in the local areas.
Yes, it will be similar to license lock scalers. Remember, it will be like that. We were thinking of it that way. So it's similar to what you're talking about. So we can certify them, and these are the people that we can manage.
Can we have this one in the logging code of practice?
Well, it's seen as said the power equipment machinery should only be operated by trained and accredited persons. So if the code stating that, then we are the regulators, implementers, they must implement it. They must follow it. So what you are suggesting, yes, I'm saying yes. It's up to the Forest Authority to, when PMC's review, this logging code is review, PMC's review, that will come in. So we make it as A, that is the code, or that is the regulation that will be followed by the. So maybe when they are submitting the plan, they have to list the names of those certified operators as well, the change operators, log scalers, the machine operators. Probably that will come into our PMC procedures in the review. So before you approve it, you know that these are the certified people with their license numbers. So they must have a license scaler, they must have a license change operator, they must have a license bulldozer operator, and even drivers to be truck drivers along the line. So any of them that, as you were saying, yeah, of course, we can penalize the company for it. Because we are trying to manage the forest together in such a way that we can achieve SFL.
That's a very, very good point. One of the things that we will be doing at the end of this course of training on Friday is to discuss issues affecting your monitoring operations. What are the challenges that you are facing? What are things that are hindering you from implementing your monitoring duties? So that issue that you just brought up is one area that we need to discuss. And feel free to make some recommendations, please. Okay? This has been done in other regions, so we're expecting this kind of general discussions on Friday. All right? These discussions will be on Friday, so at the end of this training, we will provide a list of points that is coming from you as field staff or monitoring officers on what challenges you are facing out there in the field. All right? Whether it's to do with the logging code or PMC procedures or just anything that is affecting your monitoring jobs. So feel free to express those things that you feel that is affecting your job. Okay? So that's one point I just started to mention, but take note, but please, if there are any other things that you feel you should bring out, please feel free to do so.
All right, thank you, Simon. As you said, there is a group. Our group will be divided into small groups, and those groups want to work on Thursday or Friday, one of those. Well, I don't know. We miss one day, so maybe Friday and Saturday. And he will be doing a presentation. Each group will be doing a presentation based on some of those points that we will be discussing. So please bear in mind, as Simon said, prepare for that. prepare for that. We have done it in a certain region. We also did it in Moses, so we wanted to do it so that this collective gender information is going into the hierarchy that they can consider how best we can review our procedures, process, so that we can improve in our monitoring systems. Okay?
Hello. Just to add on that point on change of operators, the question goes back to us as mining officers. Are the surveyors doing 100% tree marking for the change of operators to fail using the direction of fall, or are they just doing 25, 50%, or just any hedge? And inside long setup, yeah, almost a working tree marking. So I want something to So within our discussions, we should look at how we can address this issue, so that it can be taken to the management, so that they can decide what kind of way to approach this. Change the operators and surveyors also to know that they're supposed to do their job and not just go in there and just come up with their annual plan and you approve it or you recommend it for approval. And once it is approved, they just go in there and they fail at their own will. Is that right? Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ivo, for raising that. So take note. In our procedures, tree marking should be conducted 100%. 50 centimeters and above, less than 50 centimeters, DBH. Now, if you just monitor from the road, you see that lots of undersized slopes are coming down because they are not doing the real tree marking. Or change of failures, they just go in and fail anyhow. But those operations that you see, they cut in about 50 centimeters, and through only working tree marking. Because surveyors going in, they mark only those trees which are 50 centimeters and above. In those operations, which you find lots of undersized, less than 50, and change of operators here only go inside now, nothing will like that. So you can tell the differences one to the other. Marking done, marking is not being done 100%. So in a setup operation, marking should be done 100%. Not 50 only the working line up, no. I know there's lots of work. These are also people are really loaded with work. And in some areas there's 3, 4, 5 setups in operation. One person to go around, I know it's a very hard job. I've experienced it myself too. I was a change of failure too. I was a machine operator myself too. But I just try to make sure that I've done it. So please, tree marking as John, last question and I'll carry on because
thank you.
Time.
50 dph. When the tree is standing, our measurement, our estimate is over back, not under back.
exactly.
The average that we are looking at the log pond is based on the actual measurement, which is under back.
Yes.
So there is a difference in there.
Yes.
And also, when the tree is standing, not all the trees they have the same, what will I say, form. They have different forms. Trees like hopea, when you look at it, the top of it is very tapering.
Yeah.
So that's why when we say DBH 50, when it gets to the log pond, they get the average underbar, both ends. It will not be there at 50, it goes down below 50. So what I'm saying is we should look at different DBH. We don't apply the same DBH for across the board for trees. Thank you.
Thank you, John. You can further debate this. Please take note. Further debate it. last 50 years ago, the egg was 50 centimeters, and we still continue with DBH 50. Now, when we look at the tapering of the tree top, average Kirkism, it's less than 15 now. So please take note, we debated whether we increase it or we decrease it. Okay, according to your experience. Look at your forest, whether it's increasing or it's decreasing very fast. Where are you going to be in the next 10 years, another 20 years? You're going to be same monitoring an operation, or you're going to shift, move to another operation? These are the sort of questions, please, I want you to ask yourself. So when we debate it, when? Simon, Friday? Saturday? I want you to come with your constructive idea. That is 50 years ago we're talking about, or maybe more than 50 years ago. They say that 50 centimeters and above. But reality now we're getting is, when we average it, it's going down. So are we going to increase it to 60 centimeters? Or are we going to lower it to 40 centimeters? So John, I'll leave it there. I want to answer your question, but I'll leave it to the floor. Okay. Rest, I'll leave it there. I'll skip them. I think those were the, but you read them yourself. If you have any questions, please ask me tomorrow, or in here, or out in the field. Next slide, please. Time is running out. So, okay, occupational health and safety. That's another area covered by the revised logging code. See, must be a healthy person, must be a person who working in wearing the helmets, wearing the safety boots, wearing the safety trousers. When he's working in according to the safety rules. So those are the people that we are talking about in here. They must have a first aid kit which is available at the site, so that any minor accident, injuries, they can attend to them. Somebody there should know how to apply first aid. So in case of heart attack or injuries, this person will go step into control it. This next one, okay, please read them yourself, very simple, straightforward. Those are the equipment recommended, must be wear by the operators. Now, again, I said we must lead by example, because these the rules that we make in, the policy that we make in, and we must do it ourselves before we tell somebody to do it. I'm not saying that, no, but please be mindful about safety. Dress in a way that you look a professional forester. We look professional in our areas. So when we go and monitor, people see us and respect us. But if we don't dress in that manner, then lots of times we confuse people. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, that's same machine operators, similar to the first one. Weather, in this case, this is very strong now. In the revised logging code, we say that if weather is bad, no operation. The companies are doing, but some, they are not. They're worrying about their production, they continue to operate. But this time it's under the code, so please observe this. If any company is not complying with this, please tell them that this is our code, so follow. The next one. Okay, so ensure everyone understands the basic principle of setup plan. In the team there, the briefing, they understand. That's why we're talking about certified operators who understand the basics of forestry operations. Only if it's about nobody come, they just prove it. But if he understands the trained ones, they know that they can only follow the procedures that we have. Okay, so everyone understands soil, slope combinations, and problems caused through the environment. So we want a person to be like that in the team. They understand. So when they see that, oh, ground is no good, soil is very soft, they cannot do operations in there. They avoid, because eventually it will affect the environment. And so everyone understands the water classification and definitions as by our friend at the side, at the back. So they understand, so that when they see, even it was not been mapped, Papa John wasn't there, but he understands. He can make corrections himself because he understands. And then make sure everyone understands the OHS, occupational health safety, and protect clothing before undertaking forest operations, and understand weather restrictions to avoid accidents. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Now, we will be here today, tomorrow, until Friday. So, if you come up with any questions, we just went through it. You read your manual. If you come up with any questions, please raise it. Raise it, and we can further discuss. Again, I say it's a two-way communication. I want you to learn as much as possible. I know you know it already in the first logging code of practice, but do you guys want to put it in, and then in areas where you think the practical is bring it up, and you can really address it. And that's all. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'll leave it to John now. Okay. All right, next one. Okay. I think most of the things, I did like, when the aeroplane is trying to take off, you put more power into it. So when it comes to the air, it just glide. So most of the things that I was trying to let you know, I already mentioned them in a first session. So this one is, I'm just going to brush through it. It's an example, okay? When the aeroplane is going to take off, it's put the full ramp and then it goes. Make sure it take off the ground. Then come to the air and glide, and glide. Pilot them, see that does So it's like that. So this spelling that we're going to go through it's going to be like that. I'm just going to brush through it. But any questions, please tell me. If not, we just go to the end. That's it. Okay, thank you, gentlemen and the ladies. Second one is felling and skidding. It's part of harvesting that we talked about already. There were some good points to raise in regard to felling and skidding or felling. So in here we're going to look at them. Then teach felling and skidding techniques to minimize soil erosion. The most concern here is the soil. If you understand the soil profile, I know what problem. Because you know the soil, our soil is going to affect the environment. Erosion into streams, retaining residual fish for future crop and work safety, preventing injuries and accidents in the forest operation. Next one, please. Okay, next one. Okay, silviculture combinations. Only conventional extraction is permitted under the code. Apply selective logging of consumable trees greater than 50. That's we talked about it already. Again, one thing we forgot was 6 meters. Do you know that 6 meters and above? Or you only know the 50 centimeters? When I first joined forestry, I was taught, not in Bulalo, not in Inuit, but I was taught by the people who were the technical officers. They said 50 centimeters, inventory survey. If you look in 60 meters and above, 6 meters, what 60 meters, excuse me. 6 meters and above, you record it. And merchantable tree, merchantable definition is, well, that's where it's coming into it now. Okay, merchantable trees. We said that merchantable trees, you're looking at it when you are doing inventory, 50 centimeters and above, and 6 meters and above. Anything below 6, leave it out. Okay, that was during log export and installation now. Because all buyers he come, anything that less than 6 meters, only not this cement. They put it on site, it's a waste. That was the advice given to us. Okay, that's part of my sharing, I'm giving it to you, but you are experienced foresters, you can adjust, make adjustment. Okay, yeah. Because they say that anything go to the export side, long fire comes, you only pick up 6 meters and above. Anything less than 6, and you cannot be seen. So, or 7 and only top, anything 6 and above, and above, anything below 6, large side. But now practice only walking be looking in some areas, no or change are going, cutting task only less than 6. So we mean looking lots of waste in the bush. Some in short too much cannot put it onto the zinga, they leave it in the bush now. It become to us it become a abandoned log. It's waste now. So if we do the correction in here, you mean correct them, addressing properly, not correction, but addressing properly, I'm pretty sure that that can be avoided. So maybe in another 10, 20 years, it got a purpose for it. Now we are going into downstream processing. Now what should be the maximum length or minimum length? Can anyone tell me? In downstream processing, 3 meters, okay, or less 2.5. Who went through the SEPA low grade rules? Anyone? I think some of you went through the SEPA. In the SEPA, the minimum requirement is, block length is 2.5. So log is 2 meters. So if you look at the SEPA rules on the grading side, grading laws, that was the requirement. So when we are going to the downstream processing, we look at the length as well, not only diameter, but the requirement of the length. We take it as 2 meters, 2.5, or 3 meters as some of you are saying. Okay, come to a retain diameter, 3 diameter breast height below 50, that's, we know it. Control retain basal areas and maximum size of other trees for different soils and slopes. Please refer to table 1, please, in your manual. You read that tonight. Please, if you are not clear, ask me so I can explain it to you. Only map trees must be fairly in relation to setup plan. Again, when raised by Mr. Hago, only trees mapped. That's why we are saying that only certified changer fellas who understand this. Even they were not mapped, but you can see them, they are sound, they can tell them. Or even they map them, but they see they are unsound, they cannot tell them. So that is we are talking about grade operators who can make decisions, who make corrections on the field. Leave marks on the stuff after removing the tree. I don't know what that has been done. No trees will be felled in buffer zones or special management areas unless permitted by PNGFA project supervisor. And the last one is supply sensitives have been the setup plan to attain stocking and invest for first cover in area after logging. How do we recover those areas directly affected by felling? How can we recover the forest cover? Restore. Okay, we talk about planting. We talk about enrichment planting, open planting. Those were the procedures or techniques that we can apply. Silviculture. So on the other hand, we should have, companies should have nurseries to cater for those areas. Okay, next one.
I want to make a comment. Leave marks on the stump after removing the tree. Any one here knows what you should do there, because for me, I don't
only mark trees are not.
Oh, no.
Leave marks on the stumps after removing the tree. So when they fell it, there should be a mark there against the stump.
Maybe they just went through that all trees are.
They fell the tree and then they mark it.
Kill it out, huh?
Yeah, you understand, so anybody who has come across this one? Steven?
This one means when service goes into a setup, they should mark the trees and the base, and the rest of them should be marked at the base. The mark is still remain on the stump.
Oh, I think so. Yeah. The green number and the turning direction should not be cut by the operator.
Okay,
The
that's
mark
a
is
fairly
the
direction.
direction also. The direction of fair. Direction of fair.
Okay, so if it is been cut here, there should be a mark somewhere at the below. That's what Stephen is trying to say. Clear? So when service goes around, they put the mark, not where they're going to cut it, up here. Not here. Because when they cut it, it's going to go. But they should mark it somewhere here. I don't know, this were during the review, there were suggestions being made. One, they say that when they are cutting it, 3, 1, 3, 2, 3 number in there. So when you double check from here to there, you know that the numbers correspond. One reason why that happened because of background they place. We know that we planted the way you move in Lobina, we know that so to justify that, go back to this problem again. It's clear, maybe you guys are also experiencing it. So they were saying that number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. So if that conflict come up at the lock landing or during the royalty payment, then you can trace it back. Trace it back. So that proposal came up. That mark, whatever they cut, mark must be there. I don't know whether some of you are experiencing that, but especially it came from the point of the anonymous view. Someone in claim was saying, oh, you got plenty of way, lawyer blow but look at the money in Kini. And how are you going to justify that? At least you give him a least lawyer. But then you go to the field again to justify they have to do and sorry, I'm just saying it, but yes, please take note, we debate it. This Friday or Thursday we debate
We
it.
discuss around that on Friday.
Okay, yeah. Either how we gonna do the marking, just cross or number or some sort of medication that can help us to solve landowner's problem. So are you trying to say something?
Yes.
Okay.
Just in addition to what you already mentioned and other officers touched already. There are two experiences that we come across. One is to do with landowner royalty. Normally set up, put on customary land, misalnya ikaw customary land boundaries now. Sometimes landowners query the amount of royalty that they get. So some of the marks are put to identify the landowner. They put certain marks on the tree also, apart from the direction of the felling. That's to identify the royalty, to confirm that it's the right money that they're getting from the trees that are felled within the customary land, even though it's within a setup. That's one. Two is normally also after they do the post, they go to confirm that all the trees have been cut or some or no cutting and stuff.
Yes.
That's from experience, but it's also in the code. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So please, we debate it. You bring up your ideas. how we can, it's in the code, but how will we do it? In numbers or in names or kinos? So if Peters, then we say P only. If Kenos, then you put G only. So I know that it's for Keno and this for Peter. So it will not can clash. When this will come up, I know my names are there and that's my laws. And his names are there, that's his laws. I'm just saying something like that. We come up some constructive ideas in a way to solve this problem in the field. Okay? John, could you bring that up? The others, you look at it and if you satisfied, if not, then John?
I don't know. In the code, do we have like minimum, maximum skill distance? I don't know. We would have that.
Okay. John's question is, in the code, do we have a minimum skidding distance? Yes. There is a code that you come across. All these bulldozers, which have wings, they should have at least 50 meters or 100 meters. So they don't have to go right into the forest to skid the logs. They can just stand at the edge of the skid and then skid pull the logs onto the bulldozer and then skid it out. So that's a good one. Again, maybe we can debate that the minimum and the maximum, or minimum only we can talk about it. To confirm it, what's the code say, 20 meters only, or it's just saying that not to go right in, but we can say at least 20 meters. And depending on the slope, if it's very rugged, then we don't need to allow the machine go right in. Okay? Okay. Okay, can you move on? Vein cutting. This is another one, 3 to 6 months. During the survey time, survey people will do it. They cut all the veins. So that the reason is minimum destruction to the canopy. Because when veins, they grow from here to the next tree. So when this one fell, they pull the other one as well. So there is more opening. As you can see, the canopy is more opening in there. So to minimize that, the vein cutting must be done. So they dry, when they fell the tree, it will not get the other tree down as well. Okay, come down, 4 point there. Okay, next one, please. Tree fell trees on a slope less than 30 degrees on low and moderate soils. Observed vegetation includes trees, epidemic trees, cultural trees, local epidemic trees for biodiversity. Why? I said it earlier this morning. Biodiversity is one of the key elements we consider in devising this code. Because the impression given to us by the Papa Ground is, forest is our supermarket. You forest workers, you make money, supermarket place stop down here. You kiss money, you fortnight, you run to the supermarket, kiss employee. Supermarket plumbing stop the forest. When I need apples, I go in and kill a pig, wallaby, whatever, I get it from the fish. Truma. So that is the impression from the landowners. If you destroy our supermarket, you destroy our life. Me allow me to pay when they say that. Because they say that when you get afforded money, you run to the supermarket and you buy apples, whatever, rice, tin fish. Me start a place. That's my supermarket, he said. And you are responsible, you are destroying my supermarket, but you are not preparing it. You are not helping me. But one day, when you finish work, you will come join me in my village. And why you want to buy your things? Why you get it when you get your food? It's from the supermarket. So collectively, together, we should manage the forest. You just imagine of the statement made by this landowner. You regard forestry as a supermarket because of the biodiversity. And needy mabus, and going, kili mabus. Kaskas is there, pig is there, fish is there. But when we destroy it, they escape, they run away. They are no longer there. So they go right in. Another example, a place flowing through here. Before forest start, or Mamat start cutting firewood, very close. Now they go right in. It's a very bad, very bad, but no choice. Only cutting bush here, planting yam, taro, banana. They reckon that that was there, but they didn't realize that firewood only is in way. Now grass you grow. I think I'm a whole like cooking guy. Firewood no handy. So these are the classic, things that we can consider, helping the village people. They continue to enjoy their life. They continue to be happy. That's the only way we can make them happy. Kati mo kata diwai kunai kama emba kissing firewood. Emba walk miles and miles to get a firewood. Come cook. You just turn the power and then your food is cooking. Gas stove, you just put it on your gas. Like guys, what about this village man? Very sad for him. We're making the life very difficult for him if we want properly manage the forest. So example, he said that you killing, you chasing my animals, where will I get my food? Very sad. That is today we are talking. What about another 20 years? If we continue, that will be a sad story for our kids. The kids that born today, 1 year old, in 20 years time he is an adult. But you look in the livelihood domain, the environment that we destroyed, he will not be a happy person. He will be a sad person. What did my father did to me? What did my boo did to me? So please, these are some of the things that I've picked up from attending seminars. And it's very interesting. I look back to PNG, we are lucky because our environment is very friendly. Where you cut in the wire, there's another one coming now. In other areas, you cut in the wire, desert goes in. So they find it very hard. They stop log export, start planting trees, conservation of forest, they say. No more cutting the wire, no more exporting, they say. Finish. They ban log export. Even downstream too, they ban it. Because they see the consequences. These are developing countries. Our developed countries, not developing, developed countries. They experience this over a period of time. And they try to make changes in here. And we have seen this, but we are not making any changes. So in these procedures, please we contribute. I want you all of you to contribute so that we can come up with constructive ideas, opinions that can make change for a person born today. Today is 1 year old or 1 day old, but 20 years time is a happy child. Okay? All right. Direction of failing, we talked about it already. As slow as possible, that already remove hangout trees using wind wire ropes. Failed demonstrates that the sinking permission of the province provides that. That's another debate there. What do you think if another tree has been broken down? Leave it or cut it? I'll leave it up to you. When you discuss it, you tell me. In many operations, we see that this tree goes, broken white or white. In some areas, only starting. But for a period of time, it's going to dry and die. So that is a waste of resource. Okay, next one please. Extraction is, again, soil is very important in here. In this regard, I want you to come up with which type of machine we should use in extraction. Either, what do you call it, wheel tire or chain tire. Bulldozers, they got tire. Yeah, forklift. So you look at that and please tell us. The less impact to the soil, we should use that. In some operations, they say that it's better to use the machine because the impact to the soil is very minimal. In other areas, they say, no, it's okay because soil is solid. So it's varies from situation to situation. Again, same come down, winds 40 meters length, that is what we talk about, that we should use. Otherwise, the rest bullet points are very straightforward. The next one, skip tracks. How do you understand the first one? Area of skip track must not exceed 10% of the area of zero. So again, coming to the planning line. We don't want more destruction in there. If more than 10%, there is more destruction to the forest. So they say that 10% only. On ridges to avoid uphills and downhill, look at skip tracks on slopes not more than 25 degrees. Don't permit skip tracks around or within 20 meters of class 3 or class 3 here. Class 3 place in this revised one, we're talking about a small one. And many villages or landowners, they use this as a drinking water. Marked on setup plan, okay, avoid sites, site cutting, box cutting, this is another one here. How do you understand this? Avoid site cutting and box cut on skip tracks. Sometimes when a log is down the gully, those as they cut down. But in this, we say that they should not cut down. They should sit at the edge of the whatnot and split the log out. So that is a new practice we want to introduce in here. Don't allow them to go down. Box cut is, we cut through the mountain. And then they get it on the other side. They get to the other side. They should look for other ways to avoid. Because when they cut open, that's more soil is being dug out. And as a result of that, more soil will be washed down. Okay, and then last one, apply rehabilitation, reforestation, natural regeneration programs. Please be mindful about the last one here. Rehabilitation. In log landings, in skip tracks. In some areas where they close setups, unless I've seen it, unless they go back after second round now. The first round go, the second round, that's going to go again. This is another good debate in here. If those areas, the second round is going to go, re-entry, we call it re-entry, or we call it re-entry. Shall we decommission those roads and decommission those skip tracks, or in case of this, what we are talking about? So please think about this as well. The procedure is establish water bars after logging, etc. Decommission to come in here. Apply rehabilitation, reforestation. But skip tracks, that we're going to plant trees. Then second round, they're going to be removed again. So what shall we do? I mean, I'm just telling you. But you give me, what shall we do? Rehabilitation. And then what about those log landings? We're going to rehabilitate plants. But then second re-entry coming again, are we going to use the same one or we're going to go to a new one? So this is a challenge to us. Please, you think about it. If we want to use the same one, why we rehabilitate? Spend lots of money, manpower in those areas. Then second round comes, we want to clear those off and then put the log landing again. lock on again. So please tell me. But in a code, we put them in. They are part of the code that should be applied. So in some areas, it's friendly or it's not friendly. It's practical, it's not practical. Okay, last one.
We need to address John's question on skid tracks. There is nothing in the current revised deck in terms of maximum or minimum distance of skid tracks. If you look at the setup, usually it's 150 hectares, right? Generally speaking. Now, if you work that out, it's kind of 1,000 meters by 1,500 meters, right? So that's about 150 hectares. So, question is, do we have a limitation as to how long the skid track should run? There is nothing in the revised code. It's something that you need to be mindful about, and maybe you might want to raise this for discussion. It's not good, but as a general rule, any skid track within a setup should end at the end of that setup, right? Generally speaking. In most cases, you will note in your area of operations that skid tracks, for those broken topography or mountainous, you normally would follow reeds. Okay, so reeds is usually preferred. Skid track downhill is not recommended. Uphill or skidding, sorry. Yeah, uphill not recommended. That we all know. All right. And in the first point Gena raised is 10% of the skid track area should, it should not exceed 10% of 150 hectares, which is about 15 hectares. You and I, we all know that skid tracks, those are the ones that are the most destructive machines in any logging area. Let us try to minimize establishments of skid tracks within setups. You will tend to find in most setups that there are parallel skid tracks. This must be discouraged. And this comes back to the weather. When logging is conducted during wet weather, you tend to find a lot of side tracks. You know, skid tracks, when they start following the same skid track up and down, you tend to dig up the soil, so they decide to, you know, construct another. This is not allowed in the code. All right. So John's point is very important. We need to discuss that and see if there is going to be any limitations to skid track, the distance of skid tracks within setups. Of course, it depends on the topography as well, but good point, John. Sorry, John.
Okay. Thank you, Simon. Clear. But again, you refer to the plan because we are the ones who are approving the plan. We submit the plan, we assess, and we satisfy, we approve the plan. So based on the plan, they should follow on the field as well. If they are not conforming to the plan, then that's where they are wrong. We can correct them. Your plan is different from what you are doing on the field. So that's another way that you can pin them down if they don't follow the plan. So we're talking about the 10% skid track. 10% of the total hectare. That should be justified during the planning of the setup plan. That's just an addition to what. So if your assessment in the phase is correct, then it will be correct on the field. If your assessment is wrong in the plan, then it will be wrong in the field as well. Just helping you how you can quickly pick up problems and address them in amicable manner. Okay. Okay, I think it's very straightforward. You move again. Yeah, I was talking about the last one, rehabilitation. We come up with it unless and until we say that, oh, we're not coming back to this area. then we can do full rehabilitation. Sense of our land. We can spend money, we can spend manpower, whatnot, we can rehabilitate. Because they can plant trees along the skid tracks and plant trees around the block landings, block ponds. But if they are coming back, re-entry in some areas that I've seen it during our revised logging code, I've seen it. 20 years ago now, companies logging in those areas again. And they are using the same old skid track, same old road. So please, we debate this out, so you think about it. And even what Simon said, think about it and we. Okay, next one, please. Crossing streams. Don't allow skid tracks cross class 3 streams unless alternative water supply is provided. Don't allow skid tracks cross class 1, 2 streams at the temporarily cross block bridge. And they can be removed after skidding. Similar to next bullet point. Construct water bars in a space of 20 to 30 inches. Again, in here, please common sense. Flat areas, you put in slime by no use. Why no use? Because water might not have run. That flat terrain. Okay, a very flat area. And then you dig a barrel. Where will the water go? Nowhere. It's only requiring sloping areas. So again, to help you monitoring, that's very quickly you can do that. If very flat area that you monitor, there is no need for that. Maybe they can do it, but when rain comes, water will go nowhere. Maybe they can just cut into the forest, so water can go into the forest. That's the one way that they can establish water bars. But it's very necessary in the slope areas because when the flow of the water is coming down, you can slow it down from there. Okay, don't allow debris and waste into streams. That's very straightforward. If there is, in our logging code, previous one or first one, clean it. So when closing up the setup, closing. We open the setup, they go in, and then they satisfied, they go in, they apply for closing, you go inspect it. So during that time, we inspect streams, make sure there is no debris. If there is, we tell them to remove. And don't allow soils into the streams as well. I experienced many cases in the past when there was no code, plenty of soil go inside, river becomes shallow. And no better fish, he run away, escape to deep waters. So we don't want more soil to go into the, and that's through our extraction failing and extraction of logs. Okay, next one please. Okay, that's how we talk about it, rehabilitation of skid tracks and crossings. This should be, in my opinion, is during inspection you should only observe those the areas that have been badly affected. No opinions. Then you should carry out rehabilitation. But that areas which not been heavily affected, just enrichment planting. Plant the finest or the species that dominate in there, plant it again. So my opinion is maybe now we learn, in other operations I've been to, we saw companies establishing nurseries. Forestry, no harder. Very small areas, some areas that we went, yes, they do have nurseries. But most areas we went to, no harm. Okay. All right, John is saying time up, so please, next one. Okay, that's already, I've talked about it. Next one. Okay, so recap is those are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Apply silviculture prescriptions in felling and skidding operations. As for veins and car, apply direction of felling. Direction of felling can only be done by a trained or qualified change operator. That's why we must strongly recommend to employ trained operators. Appropriate machinery equipment in extracting logs, control constructing street tracks, avoid steering logs to class 1 to streams, and apply recommended interval distances in water bars, and rehabilitate street tracks after logging. Thank you very much. I will leave it here. Again, please, any questions, whatever, tomorrow or Friday, I'll be around, so we can further discuss that. Please them so that the intention is please you learn as much as you can, so that will help you to go back and do your job well. But again, I see that most of you are all foresters and you are well versed with the logging code, and I'm pretty sure that this is a refresher reminding you that these are the procedures that we can follow in our monitoring operations. Thank you very much. I'll get that.